Hello to a sort of kind of afterthoughts video like usual when I finish the book on this channel. And before I start, I have to probably put a disclaimer because in case you stumbled over this video while doing research on the book itself, while looking for an analysis of the book, explanations, etc. So this video will probably not be what you are looking for. This is more like a meditation, contemplation, stream of consciousness, like, even though I put down some notes, of course, so to not ramble completely into the blue of my reading that I just did of this book. So whenever I finish a book, reading of a book, I sit down and do some sort of a, afterthoughts video. So with that having said, reading this book was fascinating on a lot of levels. I really thoroughly enjoyed reading this book, and not on a level that I just enjoyed it because I did it. I'm not the person like that. I don't function that way, to do things just for the sake of it. I don't believe in that things are more valuable if you don't enjoy doing them. This is kind of, I don't know if you feel the same way as I do, but this is kind of a stigma in our society in parts that we don't have to enjoy something to for it to have worth and value, right? I don't believe in that. But okay, this is a different discussion. But I have to admit that Moby Dick, the book Moby Dick, became sort of my Moby Dick over the course of the last months, because, oh my God, what a tough book to read this was. And I also have to say that very early in the book, I started to doubt whether I can finish it, right? It became very, very clear to me very early that it was basically madness to start reading this book aloud as a non-native speaker, which I am. So why did I even start to read it? The elephant in the room is, of course, that this book is one of those books that is considered to be a must-read if you're interested in literature and interested in books. So what? You claim to love books, you claim to be an avid reader, but never read Moby Dick. How dare you? Well, yeah. Now I read it. Satisfied. There are some important books, and also when we talk about movies, important movies that are considered to be must-reads or must-watch movies, cult books, cult movies, and yeah, I do think that some of those are books or movies that, if we want to form a certain understanding of literature in general, or the history of literature, how we came to the point that we are now, that are must-reads probably, or must-watch movies when we're talking about movies. But that doesn't necessarily mean we need to like them. And this is something that always bugged me especially during university, or also later in a very different field. Some of you know that I'm very much into photography and also part of an online community of photographers. So whenever we're part of a community of people with a certain interest or a similar interest, and there are always people who tell us what we have to like and what we don't have to like. Funnily enough, usually those people are those who believe that their opinion is the right opinion. And usually these people are also people who don't really know the difference between fact and opinion, and who confuse their opinion with fact. But okay, I don't want to go into that too much, or not at all in this video. Maybe in a future video I will talk about that more. So I have to say, I did not enjoy Moby Dick just for the sake of battling through this book to now sit here and be able to say, I finished this book. No, I really thoroughly enjoyed this book, even though, and not because, it was a tough book to read. Tough as in hard book. I think it was fascinating to see the way Melville wrote and to experience that, because the huge variation of different types of chapters in this book. Some were just contemplations, others were merely descriptive. Then there were chapters that were structured like a play. There's this one chapter, I think it was chapter 35 or 34, Midnight at Forecastle, I think it was called, or is called, which is kind of, I think it's 34, which is really like a play. Just people talking and descriptions, what they do, and it created a certain atmosphere. And this chapter specifically is a chapter that I got quite a couple of comments from you wonderful people out there, and comments that focused on or said that my reading of the chapter helped them to understand the chapter and understand the book. And this is also something that I found very fascinating with Moby Dick, that I see that different chapters, I don't really pay too much attention concerning numbers and statistics and all of that, but I found it quite interesting to see that certain chapters are chapters that a lot of people watched, others not many people watched. So apparently some people need or it helps some people to listen to someone read. And this is also what I got from some comments, which I really made me feel over the moon, like that my reading helped people understand this book better. So some people apparently need chapters to be read to them and to understand them better. And so this is also one thing that I enjoyed a lot about doing this reading, that it helped people to find their way into certain chapters, to find their way into the book. And there's something very specific about the way Herman Melville writes, and these are his endless sentences. Sometimes it's like half a page, 3/4 of a page, or even a page. Just one sentence is madness. I don't think that anyone would be able to get something through the editors of a publishing company or something like that today. So fascinating, hard to read, horribly hard to read, but fascinating to read. I also very much enjoyed the sometimes quite hidden humor in the book. Let's face it, Moby Dick is not a humorous book. Not at all. It's a very somber book. It's a very serious book. But there are passages and there are also characters that are funny. And this is something that I also enjoyed a lot about this book, that Melville never, at least I didn't have the impression that Melville ever made fun of people. But he wrote genuinely funny characters. Like, for example, Stubb. Stubb is a genuinely funny character. And to me, I mean, I enjoyed reading funny stuff quite a lot, and I enjoy doing characters' voices, even though I mentioned that in a previous video like that I don't feel that I'm a natural in doing voices. But this was a very much of a challenge for me in Moby Dick, to give characters distinctive, at least I try to give them distinctive voices, which are not too far off. So that they don't distract from the book, but kind of grow natural out of the book. I'm not sure whether I managed to, over the course of this book, to keep a consistency in the voices. I think with Stubb I did, I think with Starbuck I did, Ahab I did, but there are other characters, Queequeg probably did, but there are other characters who just showed up here and there, and sometimes not for, in this case of reading this book chapter by chapter by chapter, not only every other day. So it didn't show up for months, basically. So yeah, this was a challenge to keep them, to not distract from the book. So there we go. Let me jump back a bit to the question of important books and not important books, and books that are considered to be important, or cult books or whatever. Do I think we need to read all of them? No, I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so. I think when we do some studies, right, when we're in university or even private studies or something, there is a canon of books that we probably have to read, because they are the foundation for our literature understanding. But that doesn't mean that even though we have to, or we learn to acknowledge why these, I think this is the important thing. We need to acknowledge why certain books or movies, when we're talking about movies, are important for the history of literature, how we got where we are now. But that doesn't necessarily mean we need to like them. I don't know if did I mention that before? I hope I didn't repeat myself now. So this is something that bugged me in university, that I was obliged, at least some people thought that I am obliged to like things just because they are important. And they always try to argue that you just don't understand it if you don't like it. No, I did understand it. Like with paintings, right? I understand why Picasso's paintings, well, his abstract paintings are important, why they are art historically important. I understand even why he is considered to be a genius, and I also believe he's a genius. And I understand what he did and why this was genius. But I don't like them. If I'd have a Picasso picture, I wouldn't hang it on my wall, because it just doesn't match my aesthetics, right? But if we want to talk about something like art, like books, like paintings, we need to understand why something is important. And to me, it always bugs me when people who apparently do not have a certain background knowledge. I mean, if you can have an opinion of things, right? Of course. And if you have an opinion on something, please voice your opinion. But there's a huge difference between I don't like something and this is bad. This is a huge difference. Same goes for I like something and this is great. I think it's great. I love it. Perfectly legit opinion. I dislike it. I don't like it. Perfectly legit opinion. But saying I don't like it, this is bad, or I like it, this is great. Difficult. Very difficult. Of course, we use these terms. Oh, this is great. I like it. We use this in a colloquial way and in our everyday language, of course. But if we want to seriously talk about things or debate things or argue about things, we have to be a bit cautious with stating stuff like that. So enough condescending BS rambling from me. So another thing that I really enjoyed about Moby Dick were the numerous references to mythology, because I was always, as far as I can think back, fascinated by stories, by storytelling, specifically by mythology, by fables, folk and fairy tales, all that jazz. And well, as it turned out, Moby Dick is so rich with references to mythology, to religion, lots and lots and lots of references, even to the Bible and Bible stories. Even though I personally don't believe in the Bible to be literally true, or well, literally we have to be cautious with that word now. I don't believe that the Bible is a historical. Every story in the Bible is historically correct, and that everything happened that way. But different discussion. I like the Bible. Bible is a great book, in my view, a great book of fiction, and so. I enjoyed all these references and figuring out where does this come from, where does that come from, what is this based on, and what is this, where does fascinating thing. And since I already mentioned it, mythology, fairy tales, folk tales, expect something to come very, very soon, because something on this channel will change. There won't be a big change on this channel. I will continue reading books on this channel, but something will change, and I will hopefully I have to check the time or the date. So not this Sunday. This Sunday is the 7th, I think, but so Sunday after that, so it must be the 14th, I think. Will be, hopefully, because I'm working on something, or I have been working on something, and I'm soon far enough in this in my work to actually talk about this. I don't want to make promises that I can't keep, so I did enough of them in the past. So there's that. Yeah. What happened, or what happened over the months and months and months that I read this book? Well, One thing that changed was the use of the microphone from a technical side 3 times. So I started with my wonderful Lewis LCT 440 Pure. Great microphone. Love that microphone. But it's a very bright microphone. Very bright microphone. And I found that since I don't do any kind of post-processing with these videos, so everything you see, everything you hear, and I hope this is also true for this video. For one video, I had to actually process the audio later because for some reason there was some horrible noise on the audio track. Horrible noise. Really very distracting, and I had to filter it out as good as ever possible. And I hope in this video it won't be the case. I checked with headphones, but it somehow has to do with the AC adapter for my camera. I have to check the time. And I have to use the IC adapter for the camera today, and I hope when I played around and I checked the sound, I hope I don't have to do some sound cleaning later. But I usually don't do anything about I don't have the time, right? No, I just take the card out of the camera. So even the videos itself, it's all in camera. So yeah. I found that microphone, the Lewis LCT 440 Pure, a bit too bright because, wow, it's a somber story. So I changed back to the T-Bone SD450, which broke later, but I got the Neat King B before that already. So I think the sound of that microphone perfectly fitted Moby Dick because it's a bit of a darker microphone. So that changed. Then my hair changed over the course, right? Some people realized that my brother was kind of shocked, who sometimes checks into the channel, because most people only know me with long hair, but I never had it that long as last year during all the quarantine stuff. And well, now they're short. Probably will stay shortish, maybe a bit longer. I don't know. What else changed? I learned a lot about how to get through a chapter, which is really, you probably noticed that if you followed along, that especially in the beginning of this book, I split up chapters. So not read through one chapter in one go, but split it up and read the next day or the next time, read the rest of the chapter. And so I managed to learn over the time to focus, or to keep my focus, to be able to go through a chapter, even if it's more than 20 minutes or even sometimes 30 minutes. The limitation of my camera that I'm filming with, the Canon EOS 90D, is 30 minutes. And so I had to stitch some videos together. I think 2 or so or 3 that went over the 30 minutes limit. So there's that. But this was, for me, was kind of a real big step to learn to keep my focus. So yeah, I think that was quite a lot already. So if you have any questions, if you want to know something, if you want to tell me something, you can do so, of course, always in the comments. There's also an email address on my about page of this channel, and so please do not hesitate. If you comment on these videos or on my videos, if you send them thumbs ups, if you like them, it helps me. It helps this channel, because that's how the YouTube algorithms work. That these videos spread on YouTube when people interact. So if you like what you see here or hear here, and if you want to help me out, then yeah, interact. I don't plan on doing anything like monetizing this channel or anything. This is a fun project for me, and it should be for you too. And if you want to help me out, then this is the way you can, by interacting, by maybe sharing the videos. I get it. Why would anyone share a chapter of a book? But okay. But this project wasn't meant to be some sort of a big thing or become a big thing. I don't think it ever will. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you out there who likes what they see and who interacts. So yeah, what book will be next? I am currently still undecided. I have to admit that there are a couple of books, some books that you out there suggested. By the way, so far, all the books that you wonderful people suggested are on my list, on my pile of books to read. So far, there was none of them that I am not interested in reading. So thank you for the suggestions. I really thoroughly am grateful for them. And so I'm still thinking about what book to read next. I wanted to read this one book that I wanted to read. The problem is that while it's a shorter novel, but it's still a full novel. But the whole novel, so far I saw it only has kind of 3 chapters or something. So I'd have to do some preparation work to split it up, because even though I learned a lot by doing Moby Dick or by reading Moby Dick, I don't think that I can read through like a couple of hours. This is not how I can. I'm not that far yet. And also, I don't know if this is something that you want to have like a whole book. I saw on YouTube there are lots of audiobooks that are like 10 hours or something. I prefer the playlists with the chapters and to do it this way. So I cannot do that because I simply can't prepare that yet. I will read that book probably one day, well, almost certainly one day, in a different way. So no spoilers yet. I'm really eager and I'm really looking forward to reading this book. But it won't be part of this chapter a day project because it only has like 3 or 4 chapters. So yeah, I'm jumping in my head. I'm jumping between 3 or 4 books at the moment, which will quote unquote replace Moby Dick on this channel. And there is one thing that will change a lot on this channel. Okay, one tiny little spoiler. In the very near future, I will not read on Sundays. So I will read from Monday to Saturday, 6 days. But there will be something special every Sunday. Which is completely unconnected to the daily readings. And I thought about, since it is unconnected to the daily readings, I thought about reading it, keeping the readings going, and also reading Sundays. But I realized that, and I also read that from you people out there, that it might not be a bad thing to have one day break in the daily readings, because not everyone has the time or even wants to, which is perfectly legit, of course, to listen every day. So some of you catch up after a couple of days, and it's not a bad thing to have one day break. So I will do something very different. on Sundays soon. I'm currently working, or have been working for a couple of weeks already on this. I think this is a great project. So I had to restart the camera. I will probably even put it on a different channel and reference on this channel to that. So with all that having said, bye-bye till next time. Tomorrow it will be a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. And on Sunday I will start the new book. And then next week or the week after, I will start my Sunday project. But I will inform you and you will know what this is about. So bye-bye till next time.